everyone, welcome, and well, today I'm going to be giving you guys 10 tips that will hopefully help you on your adventures in RimWorld. Randy may not like the things I'm about to be telling you, okay, but, hopefully you do. Alright, real quick before the video starts, I want to take you all to hell. We have a loving community, everyone is incredibly welcoming, and we have a great mod base. What are you waiting for? Come on, join up, enjoy the warm heat of the fires, and remember, welcome to hell, kiddos. Alright, so I guess without further ado, here are 10 useful tips for RimWorld. So, tip number 1 is work fast. The key to a good beginning in RimWorld is getting a homestead up and running as quickly as possible. This will ensure not only the safety of your colonists, but their moods will overall be much higher. Avoiding mental breakdowns is a huge hurdle early on, and it can be easily avoided just by being fast. Another thing you're going to want to hurry up and get up and running are your farms. You're going to want to make sure you're growing rice right away because it's the fastest growing crop in the game. Also, make sure you place your rice fields on the rich soil, which usually appears darker than the normal soil. Doing this will increase the speed at which the rice grows, and it will affect your colonists' moods just because they have food, and therefore your survivability in RimWorld will be much higher. So, tip number 2, you can use furniture as bait into a trap. This might sound ridiculous, but you know what? Hear me out. Raiders in RimWorld have one primary goal: destroy. Raiders love furniture, and if they come into contact with any, they will destroy it. So, with that in mind, why not abuse it? Put furniture within range of your turrets or places where your colonists can fire upon the enemy. You could also even landmine the crap out of that area and hopefully take care of the raiders without even have to step foot out there. This is crazy. You should definitely try it. Give it a shot. It is a very good method to destroying the raiders without having to really touch them very much. On to tip number 3. Be mindful of where you choose to land. The location of your colony is going to ultimately shape the type of colony you want to create. So, if you're a beginner in RimWorld, okay, you're probably going to want to land in a temperate forest, okay? This is the easiest place to land because the temperature isn't extreme and there's plenty of vegetation such as trees, bushes, berries, etc. If you're a more experienced player, however, then you're probably going to want to mix things up a bit, am I right? So, you're going to want to land in probably a desert or a tundra or an ice sheet biome, something along those lines. Okay, these places have a bit more extreme climate to them, so you might want to watch out, but doing this will definitely make the game much more interesting for yourself and much more difficult. It's kind of like a difficulty setting, if there already are difficulty settings in this game, but the climate in itself is basically a difficulty setting in RimWorld. So anyway, give it a shot. On to tip number 4. So, be mindful of the weapons your colonists use. Certain weapons are better for different purposes. For example, sharp weapons are much better for slashing enemies, taking off limbs, and making them bleed. Sharp weapons include things you would expect, like knives, swords, axes, etc., but they also include guns, because bullets are considered as sharp weapons. Blunt weapons are better for inflicting lots of pain, but no bleeding. In short, use a sharp weapon to kill and use a blunt weapon to capture a prisoner. Beware, if the enemy has armor on, avoid using a sharp object because armor will likely cause your knife or sword to just simply bounce off. Instead, use a blunt weapon. Very few things in RimWorld have resistance to blunt damage.
Tip number 5.
Try to always fire straight at a target. There is a good reason to do so too. The cover system in RimWorld takes into account the objects between the two fighting pawns. Objects like rock chunks, sandbags, or even walls are all accounted for if they're in the line of fire. If your enemy is behind some trees too, they even count for that as well. Now, if your enemy is behind cover, try to get a straight line of shot at him. Also, with this all in mind, try to put 2 or 3 layers worth of sandbags for cover for your colonists. This will hopefully make it much more difficult for your enemy to shoot your colonists, and on top of that, fun little fact, your colonist receives no penalty for shooting over those layered sandbags. Cool beans! On to tip number 6, use your heavily armored colonists to block the enemy. If you happen to have some really good armored colonists, use them. Combine really heavy armor and a melee weapon in a tight space together, and you're almost guaranteed to kill the enemy. If you can, lure the enemy into a tight area and force them to have to go through your heavily armored colonists. This colonist should be able to tank most of the damage, no problem. If not, then at least I guess they tried. If you have a 1 block wide entrance to your colony, just stick them around there with a melee weapon. They should be able to distract the enemy long enough for your tank colonists not only deal a good amount of damage to them, but your other colonists with guns should be able to gun them down as well. Tip number 7, on the topic of armor, give your melee colonists a shield belt and good armor. A melee colonist is going to be charging through gunfire to slash the enemy, so a shield belt is extremely important because it stops bullets from hitting them. Beware though, the shield does not stop melee attacks. That's when your colonist's armor comes into play. The armor on your colonists should be able to keep them safe while they destroy the enemy, and the shield belt should stop those pesky bullets from puncturing them and killing them. Tip number 8. Build around your stockpile. This tip is a bit basic, however, for a beginner this is likely brand new news. So, items sitting around outside will slowly deteriorate because they are not inside. So what you need to do is build around them, roof the area, and BAM! They're no longer deteriorating. There are some resources that aren't affected by this, however. Things like steel, stone chunks, those are prime examples of items that are not affected by being outside, but roofing your stockpiles is extremely important. So tip number 9 is a special one. It's kind of a quick throwback to the first tip of this video about working fast. Make sure early on you get a sustainable amount of food. This is very important because I can't even tell you how many times my colonies have died from me struggling to make food in time. Like on stream, I've died so many times because I keep screwing up that process. So grow rice early on. It's so important that you do this. Harvest all the berries, kill a decent amount of animals, specifically rabbits and turkeys because they will not fight back, and always keep an eye on your food stocks as well. It's easy to overlook this, trust me, a starving colony is bound to fail. It appears we are at the end of our road. We have arrived at tip number 10, which is keep an eye out for colonist disabilities. Early on, if every colonist is incapable of doctoring, your colony is going to fail. Don't make that mistake. If you have only one colonist capable of doctoring, you're bound for failure if that colonist dies. Early on, avoid having any disabilities in your colony. If you're recruiting prisoners, be mindful of who you recruit. Disabilities could make or break your colony. A common error among new players is just recruiting every prisoner they can find, while having more colonists is usually better. If that colonist isn't capable of doing most things, then they're practically useless and they're just another mouth to feed. So those are my 10 tips to help you guys out in RimWorld. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I put a lot of work into this. I would like to give thanks to Corsola and Augustus on my Discord server, which, by the way, if you haven't joined my Discord server, the link is in the description. Click that, join it. It's a good time. But thank you to them for helping me out because they were the ones that gathered around these tips and everything, and I just compiled it all together and put it into my own words. So thank you guys so much for what you guys did. It means so much to me, and I love you all, and I hope you guys have fun in RimWorld. Hello, I would just want to take this extra time to thank my audience and thank you for watching this video. Honestly, my audience has been with me through thick and thin. I wouldn't be where I am without them. They honestly, they're so amazing. I love all of you guys to death in the Discord server. Seriously, like, I love you all. Seriously, you guys are amazing. And if you're watching this video and you're not subscribed to me, please subscribe to me because you will be loved like family. Join the Discord. It is a very good time. Also, I want to take this time to, well, kind of celebrate my accomplishments a little bit. On itch.io, I was a part of a game jam where I was with a team of people and we went and made a horror game. It's called The Watcher. And believe it or not, this game is somehow on the popular page of itch. I'm not entirely sure how. If you are interested, I will leave a link in the description. Click on that link and I'll try to show like a little video or something of the game. I don't know, something like that to kind of show you guys what it is. But it's really cool. I think you guys should go try it out. We're going to be probably continuing development on this game a little bit, so please look forward to that. I would also like to advertise my itch.io page as well. That's all my games and stuff I make, because I do make games on the side and stuff, okay, as you guys know. And then on top of that, I have more than just this tip video on my channel. If you would like to go check out my other tip videos, they should also be linked in the description. And if they're not, go to my channel page, go to my playlists, and there should be like a tips and tricks playlist or something that you can check out. Yep. Anyway, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Leave a like and subscribe to see more, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.